So Breath of the Wild is amazing and incredible, as I've been saying, but I think there are a few problems with it. For one, I think what you have to do to get horses and riding horses. Well, let's just take it as a step back. What you have to do to get a horse is incredibly annoying. I didn't have one for 20 hours. I still don't even use it because I can't get the horse back. Do I go to a stable and get the horse back? I registered it. I don't know. It's on my map. Does that mean I have to go back to where I left the horse? The fuck is that all about? I don't want to go back to get the horse. Just make the horse come to me. That was what was fun about Epona. Was like I didn't have to. It was a magic horse, right? I didn't have to go find it. I didn't have to do all this bullshit. So anyway, yeah, I had to sneak up on this horse, and I kept trying it. I kept trying it for hours and hours and hours. Not hours and hours and hours, but several times over the course of my 40 hours with the game. I kept trying to sneak up on a horse, and I'd get to them. If I got to them, if I got onto the horse, it'd be like, okay, press this button to soothe the horse. And I'm pressing it, and I'm like, it's not really doing anything. And to tell you the truth, I don't even know. Is it ZR or L or just L or I don't know. The fuck ZL and ZLR? I don't know. And why do I have to soothe the horse? I have to do all this shit just to get a fucking horse. And then when I leave it somewhere, I have to go find it again. Not only that, guiding the horse around, the controls are really weird. It took me a while to get used to. I did think they were straight up terrible for the longest time, but now I'm just kind of more annoyed at getting the horse. I don't think that just isn't right. Just isn't right for me, this horse shenanigans. What else do we got? There's this one puzzle with, there's a couple puzzles with the Koroks. One where these balloons are flying all over, and it starts off really innocently. It's like, oh, I'm a balloon, and you shoot it with arrows. And then it starts going crazy, and it's like, shoo, 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 here's 600 balloons, and they're like doing these weird curly cues and shit, and I can't do it right. Like, it takes forever. I'm losing hundreds of arrows, just launching them all over the place, and I hate it. And it's not fun, because they're like really far away, and I gotta do this little shooting mini game, and it's that was fun and a cute idea, and then you took it too far. And in the same way they took it too far is this one where you have to throw a rock into water, and it's got this little ring that you need to throw it in, right? Makes sense. So, but I can't throw the rock into these, so I think it wants me to put an ice pillar and throw the rock and bounce the rock off the ice on into the hole, which does not work anytime. And so the way I figured out how to do it was to slowly move the rock by placing ice blocks next to each other really close over the water, and while holding the rock and crossing those very slowly, which involves me putting the rock down, making a new pillar, picking the rock up, moving it over and over again. I pick up the rock and I jump into where it wants me to go, because there was no fucking way to get it to work or to know where I'm going to throw this rock. The rocks don't throw like everything else. If I throw a bomb, I know kind of how far it goes. If I throw a rock, it's like half the distance, but I also don't know, because sometimes it bounces off the rock I'm throwing it at and I fail it. It's like some of these mini games for these Korok seeds are so obnoxious. I'm actively angry when I'm trying to do them, and it just negates any of the fun that I could have with it. And it just becomes like, I don't want to put this stupid spot on my map because I only have so many stamps, and I can't be putting stamps all over the goddamn place because I couldn't fucking throw a rock. Okay? That's stupid. I don't like that. I'm not a fan. So then there's no incentive to combat. I kind of touched on that in the more impressions thing. There's no incentive to fight anything unless you want their treasure. You're not going to get a heart piece. You're not going to get anything like that. You're just going to get some money or some items. And if you want that, fine. Otherwise, just run away. Like, just straight up run away. If you're not being fought, if you're not being attacked, you don't need to fight. Just leave. It's cool. They'll give up. They probably won't hit you, or they'll hit you and they'll kill you in one hit, which I don't necessarily think is a problem. What is a problem with that is, and I've seen this in other gameplay, but I don't have it yet. Play the game for 40 hours, don't have it yet, where you can look in the viewfinder or whatever, and see the HP for enemies, but I've never seen that. I don't have it, so I don't know. And this bokoblin could hit me in the face for 4 hearts, or he could hit me for 1/4 of a heart. No clue. No clue, really. I mean, I guess I could look at his weapon, but I'm kind of in the middle of things. You know, I'm kind of in the middle. I don't need to know when I get punched in the face that this guy actually secretly had super punches. I don't need to know then. I need to know before. I need to know before the super punch what's going on. So what would help with that also is, like, everything has numbers, right? My sword does 16 damage. My tunic is +4 to defense, right? Those are numbers. But I don't have HP in numbers. I have hearts. Hearts are not numbers. Now, is 1/4 of a heart 1? No clue. No, don't know. I'm sure someone out there has the answer, but I think the game should have the answer. It's a question I have, and I would like to see how that is. I also think with durability, we really need to know more about the durability than just it's about to break. Let me see. Well, I have a bunch. I wrote a bunch of things down because I'm like, some of these things are fucking stupid. Oh yeah, when you're dodging attacks, it doesn't do the Dark Souls thing where you can dodge through attacks. So even if you dodge an attack, but it still kind of hits you, you're still gonna get hit. And so it makes dodging like really weird and different and less important. I feel like you keep your distance and dodge and wait for them to do their thing and be open. Which is, I guess, just a different way to play it, but it doesn't feel right when you're fighting a giant guy and he moves his feet and his foot just kind of hits you. He's not attacking you, but his foot just kind of hits you and you die. You're like, well, he wasn't attacking me. I just happened to accidentally get stepped on, kind of. Like, kind of. I wasn't even really stepped on. And that's hard to describe, and it maybe sounds wrong, but when it happens to you, you're like, what the fuck? Why was I killed by the side of his ankle pushing me? Like, that's really what happened here. And I understand it's a giant dude, and I'm fighting him underneath his loincloth. Like, I get that. It's a dangerous place to be. But I don't like getting killed by someone's thighs, or whatever. Ankles. Thigh ankles. And I would really like to see new items. I know maybe there's something, but I really would like to see new items. The other thing is the motion controls for some of these puzzles are terrible. I mentioned that in my thoughts, but man, these motion controls are bad. I just gotta go back, doctor. They're so bad. They just don't work. They're not fun. They're so close to being fun though. They're so close in these shrines. They're so close to being fun. And then they just like, oh, you got to roll the ball, but at the very end, you got to flick it up. And I'm like, oh, that'd be fine if I was using a control scheme that worked. Like navigating a maze with motion control, that works. Perfect. Let's do it, right? Navigating a maze and then flicking a imaginary ball with a rickety, weird, shitty fucking controller is not right. That is not how things work. No. This puzzle could have been interesting, and instead you made it not fun. You just decided to go, oh, here's the fun. Let me move it over here to where it's no fun now. So thanks for that. I mean, if I want to quit playing a puzzle because the controls are so frustrating, that's a bad sign. I think that's a bad move. And it's easily fixable too, because all they had to do was not have the end part where you need to flick it. All they had to do was make it where you just drop it down where it needs to go. Now, I understand maybe you could have gamed the system, but for the fucking hell, it's just one of the early puzzles. Just let me do it. It's not even like a skill-based thing. I'm not going to fight a boss and need to do motion controls and navigate a ball out of a maze. Ridiculous. I would guess, though, all said and done, there's not a lot wrong with this game. These complaints are minor and for the most part can be avoided. There you can see my horse is named Cow Horse because it's got cow markings. It's a milk horse. It's kind of gross. I think that's a little bit. That's the rest of my list of complaints and grievances. Oh, and you should be able to swap. That's the big thing. I know I said that too, but swap what you have equipped with what's on the ground. That would be, and that's like, of all the things they could fix, that's the one that really could get fixed. Swapping what you have equipped with what's on the ground, because you can't do it really easily with a bow and an arrow, and I'm not leaving this shrine where it says I didn't get all the treasure because I didn't take the bow out of the thing. Absurd. Absolutely absurd. I don't know why that's a thing. Someone must have said something. Like, thousands and thousands of hours of this game was played at Nintendo. No one said anything about that? No one thought, nah, let's just leave it. Maybe it's like, but you can throw your sword and pick up a new one, but a new shield? Nah, can't figure that out. Some of these quality of life things really need to go. Hey, look, it's got my little things. That's cute. And that's the end of my little playthrough there. I think that's enough to end on. A little shorter show today. Merry Christmas. I do the show every Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Look at that. Look at Link. Twitch.tv/TheGameFanatics. I stream my own channel. Lately, it's been Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Because it is so much fun to just wander the world in a direction. Just go. Go in a direction. And 6 hours go by. It's straight up one of those games. Easily one of the best games probably ever made. Even if I think it's not perfect, and even if I find a bunch of problems with it, it's incredible, and it will go down in history as one of those games, as one of the big games. Like Ocarina of Time. Or that shitty Mario 64 everyone loves. Sorry, Banjo-Kazooie is better. End of statement. That's it. It's better. Deal with it. I think that's it. Merry Christmas? No? It's not Christmas? Fine. See you next week.